Hey, everybody. You went to the party, got a drink, all that good stuff. You ready to go?
Woo! Woohoo!
Oh, the shark vibe has such teeth, dear, and he shows them pearly white. Just a jackknife has old Mac Heath, babe, and he keeps it out of sight. You know when that shark bites with his teeth, dear, scarlet billows start to spread. Fancy gloves, though, has old Mac Heath, babe, so there's never a trace of red out on the sidewalk. Oh, Sunday morning, don't you know, lies a body just oozing life. Here's someone sneaking around the corner. Could that be our boy, Mac the Knife? From a tugboat down by the river, don't you know, there's a cement bank just dropping down. That cement's there, it's there for weight, dear. 5 will get you 10, old Mackie's back in town. Did you hear about Louis Miller? He disappeared, baby, after drying out all his hard-earned cash. And now Mac he spent like a sailor. Could it be our boy's done something rash? Yeah, Jenny Diver, old Suki Tawdry. Look at Miss Lottie Lenya and old Lucy Brown. Yeah, the line forms on the right, babe. Now that Mackie's back in town, I said Jenny Diver, old Suki Tawdry. Look out, Lottie Lenya and old Lucy Brown. Yeah, the line forms on the right, babe. Now that Mackie's back in town. Look out, old Mackie is back. Oh yeah, we're just getting started. And I'll tell you, last night, my boyfriend and I were getting ready for bed, and I thought I'd liven things up a bit. So I burst out of the bathroom, flung open my robe, and yelled, "Super pussy!" He said, "I'll have the soup." That one takes a second. I'll give you time to catch up. So I got home after the show the other night, and I saw a letter from my boyfriend that said, "Dear Belle, I'm 50, and by the time you receive this letter, I'll be at the Plaza Hotel with my beautiful, sexy 18-year-old secretary." Well, when he got to the hotel, there was a letter waiting for him that read, "Dear Schmuck, I too am 50, and by the time you receive this letter, I'll be at the same hotel with my 18-year-old boy toy. And since you've never been good with figures and money, let me tell you, 18 goes into 50 a lot more times than 50 goes into 18. I once told my doctor I broke my arm in 2 places. He told me stay out of those 2 places. Yesterday, a bum came up to me on the street and said he hadn't eaten in 4 days. I told him, "Man, I wish I had that kind of willpower." When I was a kid, I worked in a pet store. People kept asking how big I'd get. It's great to be here at Carnegie Hall. Big step up from some of the places I used to work. The toughest place was called Nuzzo's Knuckle Room. Ever heard of it? I sat down there to eat once, and on the menu was a broken leg of lamb. One of my ex-husbands told me he liked to have sex in the backseat of a car. I drove him and that girl around all night. Lately, it's been tough, though. The other night, I went to a cowboy bar. I ended up giving my number to the mechanical bull. You know, my ex-husband likes talking during sex. One time he called me from a motel. You know, comedy's in my blood. I just wish it were in my act. But seriously, men my age just don't turn me on. I'm only being honest. I went out with a guy the other night and I said, "Act your age," and he died. My boyfriend and me, we tried something different the other night. He said, let's try something wild. So he ties me to the bed, puts his clothes on, and left. The other day I went to the eye doctor. He held up a chart with the letters and said, can you read this? I said, no. He held up a chart with bigger letters and said, can you see this? I said, no. He holds up another chart with huge letters and said, can you see this? No, I says. He takes out his schlong and says, can you see this? I can see that, I say. Oh, that's your problem, he says. You're cockeyed. That's a good one. You know, the folks here at Carnegie Hall told me to tone down the Jew stuff. Yeah, right! You know what I said to them? I said, what's the difference between an Italian wife, a French wife, and a Jewish wife? When the Italian wife is having sex, she says, Mamma mia! When the French wife is having sex, she says, ooh la la! And when the Jewish wife is having sex, she says, Jake, the ceiling needs painted.
Oh, I got big plans for us, Belle. Big plans.
Oh, and did I tell you? I got a new job. They're gonna stop paying me to go to prisons and cure sex offenders.
But we gotta get you out of these little podunk clubs, Belle. You're meant for bigger things. You and me, we gotta start thinking big, baby.
So I told you I saw my doctor last week, and I tell you, I think people think way too much of doctors. Now hookers, that's where we ought to look up to. A hooker's more important than a doctor. Would you walk up 5 flights of stairs at 4 o'clock in the morning, dead drunk to see a doctor?
Baby, we make a great team. Nobody can stop us if we're together.
But I gotta tell you, my doctor's a very strange man. I said to him, Doc, what's the difference between an oral thermometer and a rectal thermometer? He said, the taste.
Come on, babe, let's make some plans. I can manage you, right? I mean, with the albums, with the club dates, with the late night shows, we can make millions. The two of us together. Your talent, my business savvy. I'm telling you, millions.
Well, you know, I've been married enough. No, it really ain't for me, and I've played the games 4 times and I've lost each time.
You ain't played it with me, Belle.
I ain't sure I want to.
Hey, what's the worst that could happen?
I could get mad at you and kill you. That's the worst.
Okay, aside from that.
Lionel, what do you want with an old broad like me? How could I keep a man like you?
Well, how about this? I never say goodbye. Never. And that way, you won't have to keep me. I'll always be there.
That's a nice bit of logic you got then.
Try it.
Why?
Well, for starters, I want to marry you.
For Christ's sakes, why?
Because I guess I love you, and I swear to you, I don't want to say goodbye. Ever. Every time we say goodbye, I die a little. Every time we say goodbye, I wonder why a little. Why the gods above me, who must be in the know, think so little of me. They allow you to go.
When you're near, there's such an air of spring about it. I can hear somewhere a lark
about it.
I can hear a lark somewhere begin to sing about it. There's no love song finer, but how strange the change from major to minor every time we say goodbye. And you promise to love and obey me, for better or for worse,
For better or worse.
in sickness and health.
Take it to the bank.
Come hell or high water.
How deep is the ocean?
No matter what,
No matter what.
I do. When I got married, the first thing my husband did was put everything under both names, his and his mother's. With my husband, nothing comes easy. When I want sex, he leaves the room to give me some privacy. And oh yeah, I always know how to make my husband say yes. I ask him, am I bothering you? And I tell you, my husband keeps me in line, no matter how many girls are in front of me.
Ah, baby, she meant nothing to me.
Nah, I shouldn't tell jokes about my husband. I mean, he's attached to a machine that's keeping him alive. The refrigerator.
It's just the way guys are made up, baby. We can't settle down with one girl. It's not natural.
But we have a great home life, me and my husband. The other night, there was a knock at the door. He told me to hide in the closet.
Tell me, baby, and I mean it. Tell me, what can I do? Anything, I mean anything. What can I do to make it better?
Excuse me. Get out. Someday we'll build a home on a hilltop high, you and I, shiny and new, a cottage that two can fill, and we'll be pleased to be called the folks who live on the hill. Someday we may be adding a thing or two, a wing or two. We will make changes as any family will, but we will always be called the folks who live on the hill. Our veranda will command a view of meadows green, the sort of view that seems to want to be seen. And when the kids grow up and leave us, we'll sit and look at that same old view, just we two, Darby and Joan, who used to be Jack and Jill, the folks who like to be called what they have always been called, the folks who live on the hill. Yeah, I discovered Lenny Bruce. What does that mean, discovered? I saw him when he was young. Yeah, that's true. But again, so what? It would have been just as funny if I hadn't. It was funny, period. No, Lenny Bruce didn't need Belle-Act to get famous. All he needed was a stage.
Oh, I like you. And if sometimes I take poetic license with you and you are offended, now, this is just with semantics, dirty words. Believe me, I'm not profound. This is something that I assume someone must have laid on me because I do not have an original thought. I am fucked. I'm English. That's it. I was not born in a vacuum. Every fucking thought I have belongs to somebody else. So I'm not placating you by making the following statement. I want to help you if you have a dirty word problem. There are none. There are no dirty words, and I'll spell it out logically to you. Okay? Here is a toilet. If I can tell you a dirty toilet joke, we must have a dirty toilet. That's what we're talking about here. A fucking toilet. If we take this toilet and boil it, and if it's clean, I can never tell you specifically a dirty toilet joke about this toilet. Obscenity is a human manifestation. This toilet has no central nervous system, no level of consciousness. It is not aware. It is a dumb toilet. It cannot be obscene. It's impossible. If it could be obscene, it would be cranky. It would be a communist toilet, a traitorous toilet. It can do none of these things. This is a dopey toilet. A word, an image. It's a fucking toilet. I can say anything I want about it because it doesn't exist anywhere except here. In your imagination, in my imagination, I say it enough times. Toilet, 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 toilet. It means nothing. Nothing, you get it?
You're funny, kid.
Hey, thanks. Coming from you, that means a lot.
Bullshit coming from me. I ain't got no magic ball. You're funny, you're smart. That's the end of the song. I hear you like the wacky weed. God knows what else. Heroin?
Tight. What are we talking about?
Nothing, kid, nothing. I'm standing here being a big fat hypocrite, and I apologize. Like I said, you got something. Something kind of big, I think.
Well, thanks anyway.
You got gigs lined up?
Nah, just coffee shop shit. You know, here and there.
You should be working regular.
Well, yeah, I ain't exactly in demand.
How about my place?
I don't know. How about your place?
Open for me.
I'm not as funny as you.
Nope, you're not. You're funnier, and smarter, and better than me. You got something to say. Something you believe in. Passion. That's what you got, kid, passion.
I got the clothes on my back. That's what I got.
Well, now you got a regular gig. Tomorrow night. Midnight, Hornet Hotel, 21st Street in Collins Avenue.
I know where it is, Mrs. Barr.
It's Belle. Just Belle.
Okay. Belle. But you know, I don't really have a routine. I just talk about whatever comes to mind.
Well, let's see what comes to mind then, okay? You know, a long time ago somebody said to me, somebody very smart said, Belle, you're gonna cure the world. But he was wrong. I ain't gonna cure the world, but you might. See you tomorrow, kid. Don't be late. You wanna know what really happened? You wanna know the truth? Yeah, I played Carnegie Hall. I even sold it out. The midnight show. Anybody who was anybody was in that audience that night. My mother was in the audience. All there to see me, Belle Barr, the dirty queen of comedy with the risque stories and the filthy one-liners. They heard my albums. They were all just waiting for me to dirty up Carnegie Hall. Never been done before. Kid, I tell you, it was the entertainment event of the season. And it never happened.
Mrs. Barr, I frankly don't care how many albums you've sold. I was never in favor of this endeavor in the first place. Yes, it is a midnight show, but even then, we have a certain decorum to meet here at the Carnegie. As you can see, there are police officers waiting over there in the wing. See, look over there. Do you want to be carted off in handcuffs in front of an entire audience?
No, of course not. But this is my act. It's all I got.
Mrs. Barr, I understand your mother is in attendance this evening.
Yeah, so?
Do you really want her to see you hauled off the stage like a common criminal? And while we're at it, please keep the Yiddish to a minimum. There are places for that sort of thing, and Carnegie Hall is not one of them.
So what am I gonna do?
Sing a song. Do a dance. I don't actually care. But one filthy word out of your mouth, and I swear to you, you'll be cuffed and escorted off the stage, through the audience, and into a waiting police car. That will be your Carnegie Hall debut. Mrs. Bott, I don't want to see this happen. You seem like a nice enough woman when you're away from that microphone. Spare yourself the embarrassment. Just go sing a song and don't talk.
Oh, I played everywhere. In Vegas, you gotta go broke. They got slot machines all over, even in the supermarkets. I bought a carton of milk, cost me $238.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
What a doctor I've got. I'm getting old now, so you know I gotta get checkups on a regular basis. All the smoking, the drinking. Anyway, I go in last week, he oils up his finger and stuck it in my ear and then hit me in the tits with a hammer.
That ain't funny. You ain't funny. How old are you anyway? Shame on you.
The other day I told him I swallowed a bottle of sleeping pills. He told me, have a few drinks and take a rest.
Hey lady, it ain't funny. Just sing a song and get the fuck off the stage. Where are the strippers?
So yeah, my doctor, he's nuts. He says to me, No, you're right. It ain't funny. I'm 61. I'm 61 years old. Shame on me. But I don't know how to do anything else. I really don't know how to do anything else. They all laughed at Christopher Columbus when he said the world was round. They all laughed when Edison recorded sound. They all laughed at Wilbur and his brother when they said that man could fly. They told Marconi wireless was a phony. It's the same old cry. I did a half dozen little songs that night. I did a bad impression of Sophie Tucker. I told a few of my cleaner jokes. I ended by singing America the Beautiful. You know, now that I think about it, that was funny. America the fucking Beautiful. Now get out of here. I gotta get ready and I got a fucking show to do. Haven't you heard? I gotta cure the fucking world. And one more thing for that paper of yours. You tell them this. Let them laugh. Let them laugh. They laughed at me wanting you. Said I was reaching for the moon. But oh, you came through. Now they'll have to change their tune. They all said we never could be happy. They laughed at us and how. But ho, 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 who's got the laugh last now? They all laughed at Rockefeller Center. Now they're fighting to get in. They all laughed at Whitney and his cotton gin. They all laughed at Fulton and his steamboat, Hershey and the chocolate bar. Ford and his Lizzie kept the laughers busy. That's how people are. They laughed at me wanting you. Said it would be hello, goodbye. But oh, you came through. Now they're eating humble pie. They all said we never could be happy. Darling, let's take a vow. For ho, 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 who's got the laugh, laugh, he, he, he. Let's laugh the past, laugh, ho, ho, ho. Who's got the laugh, laugh now?
What we'll do is, if you just give us a couple minutes, if you want to hang out in the lobby and give us your impressions of what you saw, things that you liked about the show, You're not allowed to say the performances were sucky. What we would like is some feedback on what you thought about the actual vehicle, because that is what we're workshopping tonight. Okay?
Cool.
So, what do you think? About 2-3 minutes?
Yeah, sure.
Let Sarah get out of that hair.
Uh-huh.
And truly, we want to hear your feedback, both good and bad, and then I will communicate all of that with you. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Appreciate it.
Oh, the shark vibe has such teeth, dear, and he shows them pearly white. Just a jackknife has old Mac Heath, babe, and he keeps it out of sight. You know when that shark bites with his teeth, dear, scarlet billows start to spread. Fancy gloves, though, has old Mac Heath, babe, so there's never a trace of red out on the sidewalk. Oh, Sunday morning, don't you know, lies a body just oozing light.